Steven, why is Zack taking a swim in a frozen lake?
Honestly, I'm not really sure.
Well, compared to his little adventure, we are practically in a tropical paradise up in the Soapstone Basin.
Ria and I take a crash course in avalanche safety from the experts with the Summit and Wasatch County Search and Rescue teams.
And we're happy to have our friends from Weller Recreation along for the ride.
Then we'll get the inside story of a man who is only standing here today because of the valiant efforts of search and rescue teams almost 20 years ago.
On the Outdoors with AYL right now.
We found the snow, everybody. Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Steven Human.
And I'm Ria Booth, and we're up in Soapstone Basin, which is just amazing because there's all kinds of snow here. Yeah, and we're with the Summit County and the Wasatch County Search and Rescue and our wonderful friends from Weller Recreation. They provided these incredible sleds, and we're just having a ball.
That's right, and since we're out here with Search and Rescue, we're going to find out a little bit more about them. We're also going to go through some avalanche training and learn about all the gear and stuff so that you know what to do. It's going to be a great show.
It really is. And we also, this is really cool, we have an AYL team member that actually was rescued from Search and Rescue, and we're going to go through that today. So that is going to be an incredible story too.
All right, let's check it out.
The interesting thing about search and rescue is nobody really knows much about search and rescue, other than if they call 911, search and rescue shows up. So we have to be ready 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for anything from whitewater to snow to high angle. It doesn't matter. Anything in the outdoors, we need to be the experts.
We're out there to bring individuals back to their friends and family alive, and we live for that. I mean, that's the hope and desire for all of our searches.
I mean, we're a volunteer organization, and certainly any help we can get on the retail side for our procurement needs means the world to us.
On a typical search, if we go out in this weather, we have about $800,000 worth of private gear. That's trucks, trailers, snowmobiles, rolling to help that victim. So we got to have somebody like Weller's that helps us by working with our members so that they can stay in leading edge gear. If somebody can go rent a sled that is brand new, latest technology, they can get in places they never dreamed of. The problem with search and rescue is they have to have the latest gear so they can get up into the same country.
Educate yourself. There's plenty of free, I know a lot of the different counties offer, even I believe Weller, open houses that have some people from the Utah Avalanche Center come in. Go there and get some basic knowledge for sure, and then from there, if you're somebody that spends an immense amount of time in the backcountry, get some certifications in avalanche education, and be as educated as you can.
Number one, tell people exactly where you're headed, and then go there. The second part of that is have the basics. Have the basics for survival. That is food, water, fire, and shelter. So if you get in trouble, you can get out of the weather and you'll have an okay night. Those are the biggest things they can do to help us. And then beyond that, I think just enjoy the outdoors and have a great time.
I've probably dealt with over 40 plus body recoveries in avalanches over the career that I've had. The best advice I could give is to avoid that kind of terrain and those kind of conditions at all costs. If you are going to be in that kind of terrain, it's very important to be educated, to not only have the kind of equipment that you should have in that condition, beacon, probe, and shovel, but know how to use it.
I've been doing search and rescue for over 20 years, and virtually everybody we go after thinks that not me. It'll never happen to me. So the first thing you need to be prepared for is, if it does, are you ready?
Yeah, everybody says it'll never happen to me, and we thought the same thing. In fact, that morning we had 4 sleds in our trailer. 2 of them were completely equipped with survival equipment that we used every year, every time we went out. But then these 2 new sleds, we didn't take the time to transfer it. We were just going for a short ride. Nothing was going to happen. We wouldn't really need it. Turned out to be the day we really needed it.
Good friends Stuart Hughes and Rick Peterson were snowmobiling.
When they didn't come back Friday night, a search began to find them. 2 snowmobilers lost in the high Uintas.
We went deeper in than we'd ever gone before, and that's where we ended up in a bad situation. What happened is we got back in a drainage area in a deep ravine and ended up going off a small frozen waterfall, landing in the pond at the bottom and breaking the ice, submerging our sleds. What compounded the situation is that we thought we were just right up above Mirror Lake Highway, which is a long ways away from where we really were. No GPS, no cell service, and we assumed we were in a very different canyon than the one we were in, so when we tried to get out, and we had to crawl to do that. Snow was really deep, you couldn't stand up, so we're crawling on our hands and knees. We got stuck midday on a Friday, and until about midnight that night, we spent crawling through the deep snow trying to get out. That first night, we ended up recognizing that this wasn't just an adventure and kind of a story we'd be telling our buddies in the morning. This turned into a survival situation. We were getting cold, the hypothermia started to kick in a little bit and shaking and shivering. Unfortunately, we were in a pretty barren area. The snow was super deep, and we ended up kind of crawling up under a rock that night and just had limited coverage for the overhang of the rock, and spent 4 or 5 hours there shaking and shivering, and decided about 5 o'clock in the morning we needed to start crawling to keep warm. Later on in the day, we started thinking about being where search and rescue could spot us if they were overhead in a plane or a helicopter.
We didn't have an idea which direction he'd gone from the trailhead, and so we called and asked Wasatch County to come out and assist us. We had both counties out here looking, and initially we were just trying to get a direction of travel. We had some information that he might be in the Soapstone area, so we spent some of our initial search looking in there.
So Saturday night, we're completely exhausted. The hypothermia is extreme to where you're shaking so bad you can't, control even your arms to crawl. We ended up saying our silent prayers and ended up finding a tree that had fallen over against another and crawled and burrowed ourselves down underneath that. That night, we tried to keep each other awake. We'd heard enough stories about search and rescue that if you fall asleep, you get comfortable, you fall asleep, and then you just don't wake up.
The other thing that complicated the search was that we had some new snowfall covering any possibility of finding fresh snowmobile tracks.
And we're just leaning up against the trees, trying to stay conscious, and all of a sudden we hear the thump, thump, thump of a helicopter.
And I remember one of our guys came across a really old track, but he recognized the ski. And he said, why don't you call Wellers and see if they put this type of ski on? And they called back and said, yes, that's the kind of ski. So we immediately, it was right before dark, because you remember when the helicopter went over you, it was almost dark.
It was almost dark. They came right to us. He tilted the helicopter to let me know he'd seen me, and then he left. I'm like, wait a minute, where are you going? They had dropped 2 ski patrol individuals just a mile or so away from us. They snowshoed into us and tried to help us walk out to a landing zone that they'd created about a mile from where they found us. And about halfway there, they radioed down to the base camp and said, these guys aren't going to make it. We have to get them out of here now. Again, there's so many things that we're grateful for. One is the search and rescue spent those 3 days sacrificing everything to find us, and then secondly, that we were able to get to a facility like the burn center and experience a controlled thaw. That's how it ended. We were counting on some help from above, but we knew that help from above would need individuals on the ground that were willing to follow the guidance and their training and their experience to come and find us. And I knew that was search and rescue. So the message is, search and rescue saves lives. Absolutely, I'm living proof of that. And it's up to us, the citizens, to support these guys and do everything we can to make sure they're able to have what they need when somebody like me needs their help, and in fact their life depends on it.
We'd like to thank Rick Peterson for sharing that story with us. I mean, it really puts search and rescue into perspective when you have someone that's gone through that. It's amazing.
You know what? Those guys are absolutely amazing, and it's volunteer work, and I swear they are just, they're working for the people, and they're amazing, and that's the story. It's really hard for me to even talk about it. I was really emotionally moved. Anyway, we have to take a commercial break. Oh, commercial break. No, we'll take a commercial break.
It's a commercial, Ria. Commercial break.
That's right. And we'll be right back.
the new leader in off-road utility, the completely reinvented Ranger XP1000. It's got the most power, the largest towing capacity, the highest ground clearance, and the best comfort and storage. Introducing the all-new Polaris Ranger XP1000, the hardest working, smoothest riding Ranger ever built.
Look south to adventure. Look south to beauty. Look south to San Juan County. Out here, the road goes on forever, and what you'll find will change how you see the world. Climb on your OHV and discover forgotten landscapes and vistas that challenge the imagination. From Blanding and Monticello to the cliff faces of Monument Valley, we're open and ready for you to explore. San Juan County, Utah's Canyon Country.
Introducing the lightweight shot starter. Only on the 2018 Ski-Doo mountain sleds. With next generation engine and platform. For the unmatched power and handling to own the next ride. Ski-Doo. What matters is what's next.
Save up to $1,000 plus 0% for 36 months.
Hey guys, welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Zack Cipriano. Now, Steve and Ria have been hanging out with Search and Rescue, talking a lot about avalanche survival, how to be safe out there in the snow. One of the most important things they've been harping on is your gear, which is why I'm with my buddy Dale Lewis from Fortress Clothing to talk to me about how this could really save my life one day.
Absolutely save your life. So what you're wearing is a new patented technology. We actually are a technology company that have made clothing. So you're wearing our Base Pro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go base here. This is our innovative Base Pro. This base layer substitutes 3 layers. You literally can wear that in place of 3 layers. So the Base Pro, you've got both underneath your Fortress bibs, and then you've also got the Fortress Base Pro top.
Well, I feel like I could take this off, and I'm still feeling warm. I'm still feeling good. Yeah.
We have technology that will keep you warm even if wet. Nobody can prove that they're this good, except for we found a way to prove it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I figured we're out here, we could snowmobile, we can hang out in the snow. I mean, great way to test staying warm all day.
Brought the poles, we can do a little dunking of some worms and get some ice fishing in.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to test it.
So a good way to go. Oh, and we've also cut a hole in the ice, and we're gonna jump into the hole in the ice so that you can see if you were soaking wet, whether A, you would die, or B, you'd come back and be warm.
Where?
Look at this. Is there a monster under there? Cowabunga. Oh, that is cold. Oh, did it go all the way under?
Yeah, you did.
Why is my voice high? Oh, God. Oh, God, I'm so cold. I'm so cold. Oh, I got like a brain freeze on the outside of me. Oh my gosh. Oh.
My core's getting warmer.
I'm karate kidding the water off. Seriously, my core is warm. Okay, I'm warm from here to here. Oh my gosh. What is this witchcraft?
It's nuts, isn't it?
Dale, you're a freaking wizard, man.
No. It's just nuts, isn't it?
I'm not even kidding. Like, my voice is at a normal octave. That's how you can tell.
You can tell, can't you?
I am wet. I'm still soaking wet. My feet are getting warm. I was shocked by how cold that was, and I'm shocked by how warm I am right now. And this, I'm like doing what I can to not make it sound like a sales pitch, but I'm so friggin' amazed at how well this works.
And that's the beauty of it. It works even when wet, and it works when dry. So you go to fortressclothing.com and put on AYL20 as a coupon code, get 20% off anything in stock.
Still warm. Well, I'm Zack from At Your Leisure. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, We'll have more for you.
Living in Utah, we're lucky we can enjoy riding our recreational vehicles year-round in the mountains, at the dunes, rock crawling, or road riding. Stedman's Recreation has Utah's largest selection of Honda, Polaris, Yamaha, and Beta machines. See them all at Stedman's Recreation in Tooele. Need a tune-up, new tires, or accessories? Stedman's Service Department can help.
Stedman's Recreation in Tooele. You may think it's 300 miles out here, but remember, it's only 30 miles back.
Welcome to Castle Country, a land as diverse as its people, and a rural area that relies on responsible use of the land. Here, you will find adventure at every turn. From mountain peaks to sun-swept deserts, Castle Country has it all.
Hi, I'm Chad Booth, host of the TV show At Your Leisure. Those of you who watch our show know that we cover recreation in the West, and often we talk about land access issues. But did you know that land access is an important issue in the East too? BRC stands ready to help you protect that vital access to the sport that you love. So remember, no matter where you live in the USA, join, participate, and donate to the Blue Ribbon Coalition.
There's a little place on a Utah map where I was raised, where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. Oh, there ain't nothing like being raised in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. We're out here in Soapstone in a beautiful snowstorm. It's wonderful. Anyway, we're out here with the Weller brothers, and they are going to show us a little bit about what to do if indeed you did get caught in an avalanche.
So the most important thing is that you need to know what equipment you have and how to use it. And the only way you can do that is through practice.
You gotta have the gear, beacon, shovels, probes. You've also got to have experienced partners who know how to use that gear. Remember, they're your backup. They need to be not only informed, but also they need to be experts at using avalanche rescue gear. But the best time to use avalanche rescue gear is when we don't need it at all, because avalanche avoidance is really the big ticket.
Don't be that guy that says, well, I'm not going to go on that train, because all it takes is for your buddy to decide to go on that train, and if you don't have the equipment to get him unburied, it's not going to be a very good feeling.
Generally what you'll have is you'll have a beacon or a locator. Every person needs to have one, and every person needs to know how to operate it properly. If you can't find the person that's buried, the next item is a probe. Take it out of its pouch, throw it out, and then just pull it in.
Oh, it's quick.
It becomes a stick.
And it becomes a probe.
That's awesome.
The first thing that you do is everyone in the group pushes their search button. The other thing you have to do is make sure your cell phones are turned off, because those radio frequencies interfere with this.
Okay, so how do we put this to the test? What are we doing? We got to learn how to use this stuff, right?
So we've buried a beacon out in the snow. We're going to give this to you two.
Okay.
And we've hidden a treasure with it. There's $100.
No! It's a $100 bill?
God.
It's saying 22 meters and kind of in that direction.
16, 17 meters, 23 meters. It's getting farther away.
Oh, wow. Wait, when the numbers are small, that means you're close, right? Okay, so your numbers are going up when you're pointing it the other way. No, you come back here.
I'm not waiting for you. There's $100 on the line here.
I forgot the shovel. I gotta go back. I think this person is probably not gonna make it.
It's chaos at first. It's chaos. I mean, it takes a ton of energy. The best thing you can hope for is some good clues and a good last point scene and a quick beacon. If everybody's been trained, 2 or 3 courses, that your chances go way up. If somebody's wearing a beacon, you should be able to find that person in 3 or 4 feet of snow in 2-3 minutes.
I don't know what I'm doing, man. So I sweep it like this. This is why you got to get training, because I feel like a total moron. Okay, so
oh my Lord. Oh my goodness.
Okay, Ria, we're getting closer, but...
Okay, the numbers are going down.
Okay,
we're definitely, okay, we're at a 5.
So they say that once you get closer, you need to hold it close to the ground.
2.3.
2.9.
Okay. Wait, we're almost there.
Okay, so it's right here.
Why don't you make it bigger?
Why don't you shut your face?
Why don't you just do, oh, give me that.
Got it. Oh. There's $100 right there with my name on it. All right, we got to go to a trailhead adventure brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and I'm taking everybody out to lunch today.
When we think of speedy snow sports, we generally think of downhill skiing or snowmobiling. A little bit more extreme, maybe, we think of ice racing with ATVs or dirt bikes. But this is something altogether different. Here, the track is pure snow, the vehicles are trophy trucks, and the speed is as extreme as in any other sport of its kind. This is Red Bull Frozen Rush, an event that takes winter, throws it on the track, and pushes it to the breaking point.
It's incredible. I've never been this tired in an off-road race in a Baja 1000. This course got so chewed up after 6 laps, but it was amazing. These BFG tires with the spikes are one off. So much traction off the start. Me and Ricky, he got me, and I got a little traction. I almost drove over the back of him. It was a little scary for a second.
Fear is a good thing at an event like Frozen Rush because overconfidence can quickly turn to disaster for drivers who don't understand the limitations here. As most of us know, driving on snow is very different than pavement or even dirt. Out here, friction is at a minimum, and even with massive studded tires, these off-road Pro 4 trucks are at an enormous disadvantage compared to a dry race track. Speed is their friend, but also their enemy, as each turn or jump could mean the end of their race and the destruction of their rig.
You know, the biggest thing here in Frozen Rush is being smooth. This track deteriorated so bad, got so gnarly, and I couldn't have scripted any better. Me and my teammate Ricky Johnson got to the final again. I knew it was going to be an all-out battle, but just got to stay calm, smooth, hit all my lines, and that's what we did here today.
Frozen Rush began a couple of years ago in 2014. Red Bull decided to film one of their racing trucks cruising around in the snow merely for the promotional video of the machine kicking up powder. Well, it looked so cool, they thought about how about doing this with a bunch of trucks and make it a race. And that was the birth of the Frozen Rush. These trucks are 900 horsepower machines that have been modified to perform in the extreme conditions. Special jets have been placed in the carburetors to allow the engines to function at an accelerated rate despite the less dense air of the higher elevations.
We found out, the engine was running too cold, the shocks were way too cold, the power steering's too cold, so everything was just so cold that it wasn't running properly, and we figured that out, and we found out ways to make it where we can run it at the right temperature.
The suspensions and gear ratios have also been tweaked to compensate for the soft, icy terrain. And while they don't have heaters of any kind, it can still get pretty hot in that cockpit despite the frigid temperatures outside. Organizers suggest training at standard trophy truck competitions. They're all over the country. These dirt races prepare drivers for the unexpected nature of off-road contests, giving them a glimpse into how difficult it can be once you remove the rocks and dust and replace them with slick snow and freezing temperatures. Speed knows no season. You may not expect to find it on a winter afternoon in the alpine forests of Maine, but where there is a challenge, you will find racers looking to conquer it, even in the snow.
It just feels great. I love this event. It's one-off, once a year, and we won it twice out of 3 times now.
This is one sporting event that's never going to be postponed due to snowy conditions. From the trailhead, I'm Terry Wood.
Put some adventure in your life and attend
the Sportsman's Vacation and RV Show, February 15th through the 18th at the Southtown Expo.
See hundreds of new RVs, motorhomes, travel trailers, and accessories.
Buy at the show and save. Take advantage of special show financing.
Find RV accessories, fishing, and RV travel destinations.
Gourmet and Dutch oven cooking classes.
Register to win an Alaskan fishing trip.
ABC4 Utah and CW30 invite you to the RV show February 15th through the 18th.
I pack clothes, my dog, my bike, and my mom and dad. Orange juice. I don't know. And also my blanket is really fuzzy. A camera for taking pictures. Probably a gun because there might be a bear.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. We just got back from our soapstone adventure. It was so much fun, and out with the search and rescue people. We couldn't have been with better people.
No, it was great, and we learned so much. I mean, the avalanche training, it just goes to show that you really need to take your gear out. Now, obviously, we had a lot of fun with it, and it was great, but it took us over 5 minutes to get that beacon just to function correctly because we didn't know what we were doing. And so you need to practice with it. That is the key. Get out there, use the gear so that you know when that situation comes, you can just act.
Right, know before you go. And also, if you're calling somebody, if you're calling search and rescue, it's really going to be search and recover because it's too late. I mean, honestly, they don't have much time.
Yeah, so you got to be on top of it. Well, let's lighten things up a little bit. Okay. We have our sticker winner and our upcoming events. Our first event is the Tri-State OHV Jamboree. It's coming right up next month. This is a really great adventure.
We go there almost every year and it's a blast. The people are fun, it's warm, it's in Hurricane, Utah. It's just wonderful southern Utah fun.
Now let's take a look at our giveaway winner.
Congratulations to Mark Stanley. That's a beautiful rig you got there. You are the winner of a Camp Chef stove.
Give us a call at 801-947-8888. For the rest of you, get your stickers. Now let's take a look at next week's show.
Reese is always traveling the world in search of interesting spots, and next week he finds a new one in Patagonia, the South American region that has culture, glaciers, and a few hidden surprises. From there, we'll find one destination where you can ATV, mountain bike, and snowmobile all in the same day. See you here next week on AYL.
Well, it's the end of the day, and we'd really like to thank Weller Recreation for taking us out today up at Soapstone and hanging out with the studs from Search and Rescue. Those guys are awesome.
They really are. Now, the great thing, Weller's actually donates over $100,000 in gear annually to Search and Rescue, and we'd like to thank them for that. But if you'd like to donate, you can contact your local county Search and Rescue and find out what their needs are.
Right.
And you can give them what they need. These guys are saving lives, and you know, someday it might be one of ours or one of yours. So
right, and
donate.
we'd like to thank them for saving Rick Peterson's life too.
Yes, we would.
Because he rocks.
For sure.
Anyway, there's adventure around every corner.
Just get out there and create your own at your leisure. Or about Search and Rescue. And we're also going to...
You're talking way too fast.
You're talking too fast and too much.
Yeah.